Hello there everyone, I am Marcus and we are back with the Mega Man series. So today we're gonna start the second chapter in the series, Mega Man 2. Let's see our biggest iconic intro of all time. In the year 20XX, a super robot named Mega Man was created. Dr. Light created Mega Man to stop the evil desires of Dr. Wily. However, after his defeat, Dr. Wily created 8 of his own robots to counter Mega Man. And yeah, this is one of the greatest NES intros ever, and there are very few Mega Mans with such an intro epic as this. Mega Man 2, the game that launched the series into superstardom, and for this game I was considering going with the difficult options, but I'm gonna go with normal because I think it helped a lot in making this game a success at the time. So now it's gonna start with Airman. I'm gonna do a very peculiar chain of Robot Masters in this playthrough. I'm not gonna go specifically with the weakness chain, especially since I want to show off the fact that with this game you really have a lot of nice options for a first stage to do. The only ones that I think are off limits to me are Woodman, because can be quite hard, especially in difficult. His fight can be rather a pain. Hitman for a particular stage, and a section of the stage with the Yoku blocks, and finally Quickman, because yeah, Quickman is a very hard fight, honestly. Yep, first death! We're off to a very great start. But yeah, like I said, there are very many good options for a first stage, and there are many options because most of the Robot Masters are really not that hard. I remember when I did my very first playthrough of this 1,000 years ago, I started with Bubble Man. Many will probably go to Metal Man because his weapon basically breaks this game in half. But there are even stuff like Flashman, which his fight can be a bit tricky, but it's really not that much difficult, to be honest. Yeah, Mega Man 2 is probably the most balanced of all the games from the get-go, and like I said, the existence of normal mode I think is what really gave this game the jump to get so well recognized, because normal mode wasn't in the original Japanese version. There was only one difficulty that is the difficult option in this version of the game. Normal mode basically changes how some enemies behave to damage, makes enemies die a little bit quicker, and it also gives you a huge boost in item drops. As you are probably seeing, a ton of enemies are dropping a ton of items, and there are the items of even the big variety. It's not like just the small health refill, there was also the big health refill and the big energy refill for your weapons that we don't really need right now. But yeah, this basically helps a lot because even if you end up taking a lot of damage, there are many ways for you to just go back up full life with no sweat. And the fact that the enemies keep respawning means that you're gonna constantly have an influx of items to keep yourself alive. And this gives you a lot of incentives to try again without getting excessively frustrated. And we have our first Robot Master here, Airman. Jump over his tornadoes, or at least try, depending on the formation that comes out, and then just wait for him to jump around a bit. On normal mode, as you can see, not really that much of an issue. In difficult mode, it's gonna take a bit more punishment, but really, well, if you're familiar with Mega Man, difficult mode in Mega Man 2 is not really that hard. It's basically on par with every other game in the series. So yeah, we got Airman weapon, and we have a new item, a message from Dr. Light. This is item 2. Now, item like in the previous game, we have the magnet beam. I remember how it was called, finally. The magnet beam that allowed us to create our own platforms to basically go on and explore the game. And that idea got expanded now with these numbered items. Item 2 we're gonna see in a little while is gonna create a jet that we can mount to travel in a very long distance. But now let's go to the direct weakness of Airman, which the direct weakness order after Airman, which is Crushman. This stage is one of the most vertical stages in the game, and you're gonna end up loving these things that come out from all over the place because they are the main point in this 10th stage. This is another stage that is really nothing all that difficult. These things can be quite annoying in difficult mode, not because they take more than one shot, but it's just that they do a lot more damage, and since they keep spawning around, just even being hit by one of them can be a problem. And yeah, the amount of item drops also works for extra lives. So yeah. Another reason why normal mode is mostly a cakewalk, but it's also because of that reason the perfect entry point. We will not get a difficulty select mode for Mega Man another time up until Mega Man 10. 10! Let that sink in. But if you guys were wondering about me doing eventually our run in difficult mode for Mega Man, well, don't worry, I have plans before maybe moving on to the second Legacy Collections. There is another version of Mega Man 2 that I intend to play, not so much because it's better or different, but because I want to show it off. And there's also another content from that version that I think would be very interesting for the fans, for everyone to see. Some of you might have already caught on what I'm talking about, but those who don't, well, I'm gonna try to keep it a surprise, since that game isn't included into the Legacy Collections, but it's on the Nintendo Switch Online, so go out there and check. Oh, this section is annoying. Those freaking birds that drop eggs and release a storm of mini birds that come after you. On a vertical stage like this, they will make you fall off all the time. You basically have to pray they decide to spawn on the left side instead of the right side, because yeah, when they spawn on the right, this happens. In difficult mode, this section is a pain, but you can counter it really well with Woodman's weapon, unless, assuming you manage to get it. Yeah, this part sucks. It's not as bad as some vertical section in Mega Man 1, but it gets really close. And now we have our first new item for the game, the energy tanks. What do? You use them and your entire life gets refilled. This is something that is really helpful, especially for newbies, to basically mitigate a bit the difficulty of the game, because they can find them all around. In this version of the game, you lose them when you do a game over, so you're very incentivized to use them if you're in trouble. And yeah, they are basically gonna become your lifesaver, especially in difficult mode. Just don't hesitate to use them, especially since we can only hold 4 of those in this game. And now we have Crushman. He jumps when we fire, so use that to your advantage to hit them with the air shooter, and we are done! yeah, this game is gonna breeze by very fast in normal mode. So yeah, I hope you have enough fun. But now we are gonna take a break and we see each other in the next video. I am Marcus, see you then.